Welcome back to Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the best from the world of CrossFit. Podcasts, news, special interest, health, fitness. If you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifier so you're the first to know when we have new episodes. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is the Clydesdale podcast. We're doing a quick series around the Open for the 2023 season, not just the Open, but all of the events leading up to the CrossFit Games. And we are here today with Elana. Is it Pomarici?
Pomarici. Close.
Pomarici. Okay. The C, you could go either way with that C.
Either way.
Pomarici. Elana, welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow you through the entire season of CrossFit. And I think to get us started, we're going to do just a little bit of background, get to know you a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about how we cross paths, and then we'll get into sort of the different workouts that you've been doing week over week. And this is going to be hopefully our time slot. So noon on Sundays is when we'll get together and chat and all that. I have to ask you, Elana, what kind of mispronunciations of your first name do you get? Like when you're in the doctor's office in the waiting room and they call for, what do you get?
I used to get Elana a lot. Elana was like all the subs. That was a big one. Elana too, but like it's two E's, so I don't know where Elana comes from, but either one. My parents swear that my way is the right way, you know.
Of course. My daughter's name is Eliana, and so she gets
really?
Elana.
I have a friend that's Eliana.
Yeah, it's a struggle. Did you ever wish you had a different name?
I think I liked my name because I think I liked like being different, because I think that like I've never met another Elana that's actually, I honestly don't know if I've even met another Elana, but like especially spelled like my way. So like I kind of like liked it because like it was like special.
I think for your generation too. So tell us, how old are you?
I'm 24.
24, yeah. I think there aren't many 24-year-old Elenas. I know some. No. I'm older, way older than you, more than twice your age, and I know some Elenas that are spelled that way, which is kind of why maybe I got it right. But I'm also a pronunciation Nazi, so
yeah. I remember one time it was like, you know, when like you're little and like they have those like little like magnets or something like with your name on it, and like
you never had one.
I literally never had one. There was one time I was in Disney World and we were at like this like Lego store and they had like mugs and they finally had my name, so we bought it. So we still have it.
Of course. Yeah, that's the one thing I think my kids both complain about, because you have to go to Etsy or something and get it custom made.
Special.
And when they were little, Etsy didn't exist, so they were SOL, but that's awesome. The Elana mug.
I got my Lego mug.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about your quick origin story around CrossFit.
So I grew up doing competitive gymnastics. So I always like loved working out and fitness. Like I literally would go over my friends' houses and like be like, let's see who can hold a plank longer. Like, let's do this. So that was always like at the forefront of my mind. And then like when it came to college, it was like I wasn't naturally talented in gymnastics, but it was, you know, I practiced 25 hours a week. Like it was my whole life, that kind of thing. But I always like loved conditioning. Like I was like that kid that was like, let's do more rope climbs and like say like all that stuff. So I always like loved that part of practice. But then like I also was very like academic growing up too, and I always got good grades, and I didn't really want to go to school to do gymnastics that like wasn't like a great school, you know, so I was like kind of like in between. So I ended up going to the College of New Jersey to study exercise science, and had stopped gymnastics, which at the time felt like the worst thing in the world because I loved it. So then I just like started working out on my own. I ran a lot for a couple years. Just did like body weight stuff, never really like picked up a weight. until like towards the end of college, and then that's like when I found CrossFit for the first time. And I had been like hearing about it, but I had never like tried it. So then I finally like went to a gym,
What year are we
and
talking about?
this was the summer of 2018. The summer
Okay.
of
Okay.
2018. So I started like by my house, and like I instantly was like I want to compete in this. Like literally the first class I did, I was like looking at the weights everyone was using, and I was like, I'm gonna use that weight too. And like I had no like I literally had never picked up a weight before, but I was like, let's do it. And I also was like, I had the mindset of like, you know, like I just did a 15-minute workout. Like I can do more than that. So then I
Mhm.
was working out like a lot. Um, but the owner of that gym, I remember he would always be like, you know, like you can be good at this if you want. And I remember he would come up to me after class and even in the first class. Um, and he just was like super encouraging because like I instantly like wanted to be good at it, and I guess like it really showed because he was like, you definitely have, you know, something, like you
Potential.
have the work, yeah, like you have the
Yeah.
work ethic for this. Like I've never really seen anyone like mentally be able to like push themselves like that hard. So I remember he sent me an email which I like still have, and it was like, like you've been like a great addition to the community, and like if you want to be good at this, like you can, and like I want to help you, like let me know if you want to like do a one-on-one. I can help you with lifting, because like at this point I literally like I like learned how to lift with a barbell like in the middle of a metcon, like,
Right. Okay.
so I had
Were
like
you
no
one of those annoying
foundation.
people, Elena, that could you do like a muscle up, like a bar muscle up on day one?
I
Alright, so
could,
that's
I
so not
know,
fair.
but but I will say like and we'll talk about that with the open workout, but gymnastics is literally like the bane of my existence for CrossFit.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
handstands and stuff, like that stuff I'm good with, but like rig
Pulling.
stuff, like, yeah, pull upper body pulling is
Mm,
literally like
yeah.
my
Well,
number one.
there's not a whole lot of that in female gymnastics, right? I mean,
Yeah, no, not at all. We literally
balance
keep our
beam,
arms
vault,
straight,
floor. Yeah.
like, because especially on bars, like, your arms are straight the whole time. Like, I never touched a ring
Mhm.
beforehand, but like, I will say, like, I did a strict muscle up, like ring muscle up on like the first try, like strict. But then like
Sure.
kipping and like all that stuff, like that was definitely it took me a little bit. I'm still working on it, to be honest. But
Elena, what was
um
the name of the first CrossFit gym that you went to and
that was CrossFit Medford, and I live in Medford
okay.
too. So it's
Oh,
very
you're in
close to my house.
okay.
Yeah, I'm in
Where
Medford. I live very far from the gym I train at.
Yeah, let's talk how did that happen? I was gonna say because 'cause
Okay.
you're at CrossFit Raid, right? And that's in
I
PA.
am at CrossFit Raid. That's in Bensalem, PA, yeah. So it's
I
about a
mean,
45-minute
I was gonna say
drive.
almost an hour away from where you are.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
so
Explain that.
I was at Medford, and then I was going to school at TCNJ. So I was going back for my senior year,
Okay.
and, the coach there hooked me up with Joey Dill, who was on some of our staff, and he was at CrossFit Hamilton.
Yep, Joey Dill
So
did my
I
level 1.
Really? So
Yeah,
we were
CrossFit
really good
Morristown.
friends. He literally was like my training partner for like a while.
Okay.
So yeah, so I worked out with Joey Dill, and we had a lot of good athletes at Hamilton. So that's why like Dave Miller was like, I know this guy in Hamilton. Like he was really good at the time, and he just had a kid actually. And he owns a CrossFit gym now. Same
Okay.
same gym. It just turned over owners. But
Mhm.
so he was like, I'm gonna give you his number, like you're gonna go there because like if you want to like get good at the sport, like he definitely can help you. So I went to CrossFit Hamilton and met a ton of people there. And there was just like at that time, there was probably like 10 like really, really good like young athletes there. So I came in and I was like 20, and there was a bunch of like 25 to 30-year-olds that were like crushing it. So I just kind of like, just tried to keep up with them for a couple of years.
Like, watched, observed,
Um,
soaked it
yeah,
all up.
yeah, for sure. Like I would just like they would do workout after workout, and I was just like try my best. And I remember like I was like really, really bad at wall balls at the time, which is funny because like they're my favorite movement now. But
Ugh.
I was like literally would like do a wall ball, would, like hit the bottom of the target, like hit myself in the face, and I was like trying to like keep up. But so I was at Hamilton when I was at school at TCNJ. I started
Okay.
coaching there. Um and then eventually I moved home. Now I actually coach and do nutrition coaching at CrossFit Huga, which is near my house. So that's in Mount
In
Laurel
Jersey. Okay.
in Jersey. We de-affiliated, so they're actually Huga Fitness now. They used to be CrossFit Huga.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Joe, who was the owner of that?
Tommy.
Yes, Tommy Alfinito.
Tommy Alfinito. Yep. Too great.
So fun fact, I bought equipment from Joey when I opened up. No, it wasn't when I
Joey
opened up this gym.
Dill in wait,
No,
hold on. Hamilton
Alfinito.
or Alfinito? Okay, that's
Alfinito.
Tommy.
Sorry, yeah. So I bought equipment from Tommy when I had a business in my garage, a personal training CrossFit-ish business in my garage, and I needed another rig. And I went to it was when he was closing one location or like merging locations or doing something. And he
You
had
said 3 gyms.
shit all over the gym floor, and he was selling all kinds of stuff. I got like a vacuum cleaner. I got dollies for the weights. I got a couple uprights to make like in my own makeshift rig. That was there. Okay, so you're coaching there now?
In Mount Laurel. Yeah. So I stopped coaching in Hamilton and then came to Mount Laurel. And actually at this point, so like with CrossFit, I was kind of like off and on kind of like I did CrossFit for like a year. I like wanted to get competitive in it, and then I ended up hurting my wrist doing clean. So like I was out for a year, and all I did was like at that time I was like graduating too, so I just coached a ton. Like I was on the floor probably over 30 hours a week, like doing classes, doing PT, and that was like my main focus. I wasn't really like thinking of myself as an athlete at that point.
Okay.
And
fair enough.
Honestly couldn't CrossFit because of I couldn't do Ollie or anything. So I had moved, started coaching at Huga, and then I was actually coaching remotely Aaliyah Miller, who I don't know if you ever heard that name before, but
we know her well. She's a friend of the show.
Okay. Yeah, she's trying to make the games this year. So she's like literally my best friend. We trained together at Hamilton. That's where I met her. And she was also somebody who like first class at Hamilton, she was like, you can be good at this, like be my friend, like work out with me. So we trained together a lot. But I ended up, it was like funny because she was like, you know, kind of like took me under her wing. She was like my CrossFit big sister in like the beginning. And then the roles like switched because then I got really into coaching, like in the academic side too. I graduated and then I ended up coaching her for a year when she was like kind of like coming on the scenes, like trying to make semifinals before she moved because now she's in Kansas. But I was coaching her and she was gonna meet up with like a bunch of people in Jersey, like Max Cutler was there, Connor, Evan Smith, like a bunch of guys that she would train with. And she was like, you know, just fit it into my programming, whatever. And then she called me and she was like, you know what, you should come work out with us. Like, you know, and I was like, oh, I'm not doing CrossFit right now. Like, I can keep up with you guys. Like, she was like, no, it'll be fun, you know, come hang out. So, because I don't think there were like any other girls that were going. So I went. And I ended up meeting my now boyfriend Chance there, and we ended up like forming a team, and that's how I got to Raid because Chance was at Raid and they were doing a team. And I immediately went from like no CrossFit volume to just trying to make a semifinals team.
and this was back when the rules were you had to be a member of the affiliate and going to that affiliate regularly. So you had to make the switch.
Yeah, this was 2021 to 2020. This is the past semifinals. So like we started training together in like July, August of 2021, and then we went to semifinals in 2022 in June at Atlas.
Games?
Yeah, at Atlas. Yeah.
Cool. So quite a whirlwind for you in terms
of huge whirlwind.
Starting out being competitive, taking a step back, finishing school, getting hurt, and then sort of going back, sort of taking a 180 too, going on team, moving gyms, you know, being away from your place. So what's your situation now in terms of like work, coaching, all that kind of
So
stuff?
yeah, so I still coach at Huga. I used to coach full time, which is 16 classes for them a week, and then like PTs and fundamentals and all that. So that with trying to train full time was like a literal nightmare because getting up at like 3:30 to coach and then,
Yep.
training in the middle of the day and then going back to coach, and it was just really, really hard. And just like nothing was good. Like, coaching ended up being miserable and training ended up being miserable. So I started doing, I got certified through brand for nutrition coaching, which I'm like super passionate about. So now I'm coaching, half the class load. So I'm still on the floor because I do the programming for Huga too.
Oh,
So
wow.
I do the
Okay.
programming for all the classes. I do all like
That's a
the
big job.
coaches' notes. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I definitely it's just a lot of logistics as well because, we run like 2 classes at once as well.
Okay.
So just like making all that work. But I did the programming for
Does
Hamilton
Tommy
too.
still own that gym? Or did he sell
Yes,
it?
he still owns the gym. Yeah, no,
Even
Tommy
though
owns
he's
it.
opening up his brewery and all that other
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
he's definitely taken a step back, which is probably like a great sign of success for him. But
Sure.
so we have a manager, her name's Heather. So she basically like does all the day-to-day operations, like keeps track of all the coaches.
Mhm.
So I mainly go through her, and then I probably see Tommy like once or twice a week now in the gym, but he takes classes.
Yeah.
But he's
Still a
he's
part of
like,
it.
yeah, he's still a part of it, but he's not coaching anymore. He's very like he's removed from the day-to-day, but he still owns it, and they got the
Mhm.
twins and at home.
Yeah. So what are you thinking for this season then? Coming into the 2023 season, coming off of team, where's your head?
So I'm going for individual this year.
Okay.
My goal is to make semifinals. Last year, team was fun, but it was definitely like I was I was also like really flashy too. Not like anything, I guess, chronic, but like a lot of like tendonitis basically in every joint. Just because think about like the volume. I went from like literally doing nothing to
Right.
like I was like barely stringing together chest to bar pull-ups. And then
Mhm.
I just went from that to like an elite level of volume. So, and probably with, not eating enough. So, my body really took a toll. So last year was really hard. This off season was basically just rehabbing and trying to get healthy and taking care of myself and then training the best I could like through that. But I think like last year really like lit a fire in me, and I
You're a competitor.
yeah, yeah, and I hated the feeling of going to semis and just like I was kind of miserable because my body hurt so bad. I didn't even want to compete when I was there.
Mhm.
And like we didn't do well because we were all pretty hurt. I didn't have a coach at the time. I was just kind of like doing my own thing. I was coaching full time, and it was just I was like in a really bad place, and I just kind of was like, okay, I'm not like fun. I want to do this. Like I love this. I want to keep doing it. I want to do it the right way. And I just kind of want to focus on myself this year. So I'm going to go individual.
I love it. Okay. So that's an awesome background. I think we have a pretty good idea of where you're coming from and where you're headed. So let's talk a little bit about 23.1.
Okay. So I did them on Friday. When it came out on Thursday, I literally was like, I had like
Where
two
were you?
reactions.
Where were you when you found out what it was?
I was
What were you
meal
doing?
prepping.
Okay, so you're at
I was
home?
meal prepping. I was at home. I like had it in my ears. I was like, cutting sweet potatoes. And I like knew of that workout because I obviously wasn't doing CrossFit in 2014, but
Right.
it came up on we were following like Invictus programming at
Yep.
the time last year. And it came up last year. So I remember like we did it. It was the day after Thanksgiving. We had done that workout
Oh,
together.
so you had a score that you could
I had a
refer
score,
back to.
yeah. And I was definitely like not as good at ring muscle ups. I remember I got like 8 ring muscle ups, I think.
Okay.
And at that point I was literally doing singles, like, and I'm really good at like everything like leading up to the ring muscle ups, but then that's like not a good movement for me.
You mentioned that you like wall balls. Are
I
you
love
tall?
wall
Are you
balls.
a taller athlete?
Yeah, I think I'm 5'5". I don't
Yeah.
know, is that tall? Yeah, I
Average.
think so. Yeah. I think I have long arms though. I
Okay.
don't know.
I'm
But
5'2" and I hate wall balls and I hate rowing. That
I've done Karen Unbroken before. Like I love
nice.
wall balls. They're like my
Okay.
favorite. It might just be that I'm good at squat volume too though. I don't know.
And I'm sure
But
toes to bar probably aren't much of a problem either then.
yeah, toes to bar are fine. It's literally just like upper body, like chest to bar, muscle up, ring muscle up,
Mhm.
legless rope climbs, that kind of stuff. But yeah. Uh, so my first reaction was like, oh great, like getting exposed in the first week, like awesome.
Get it
But
over with.
then yeah, but then my second reaction was like, wait, this is actually really good because like my approach to the open this year too was like, okay, top 10%, like that's fine.
Right. You just gotta get to quarters.
I really like I can't like care like quote unquote about the open at all because why am I gonna like stress myself out and like get all anxious for 3 weeks when like I really need to like push in quarters to make
Yeah.
semis this year.
Right.
I'm like I think I have a shot, but I also think like programming has to go my way. I also think that like I need to have a good weekend. So um but regardless, I was like, okay, like ring muscle ups in the open, like that's great because that means probably bar muscle ups in quarterfinals or not ring muscle ups, like
Right.
when it actually counts.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, like
That's a great way to look at it.
yeah. So I was like, let's get it over with now. Like they're probably not coming up in quarters, and I know I'm top 10% with ring muscle ups. I know I'm not elite at ring muscle ups, but it
Yeah.
is what it is.
It's a
So
big separator, being the first
huge.
week of the open and yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of like what I texted my coach too. So, the owner of Raid, Justin, he's coaching me right now.
Okay.
So,
What's his
I
last name?
text Rementer,
Okay.
Justin Rementer. So, I texted him the same thing. I was like, this is actually like most ideal situation for us, like with ring muscle ups coming up. So, went in Friday to do a workout. I did it first. I work out by myself basically every day. So I do most of my training by myself. And then Saturdays, me and Chance usually try to do a partner workout together. But so
Okay.
I was by myself for it. And
Doing it by yourself, but you had a judge and
yeah,
presumably
yeah,
someone filming and
Justin judged me. I set up my camera. But
just the
like,
2 of you in the gym then?
yeah, it was just the two of us. And then like the
Okay.
noons class started to come in like towards the end.
Mhm.
I'm honestly like so used to working out by myself. I kind of like sometimes I like it more just to like no distractions, like just go your own
Sure.
pace, like put whatever music I want on.
Mhm.
Like
What were you listening to?
um a mix between Quinn 92, he's like my favorite, and Machine Gun Kelly is also my favorite.
Okay.
Which is like two very opposite people, but I'm like super into music too. So I listen to like pretty much anything.
Okay.
But yeah, so like I like queued up my songs
What
and
was your strategy going into it?
so rower, I was like, okay, I can hold an 1100. That's like a pretty not easy pace, but like, I'll feel good coming off the rower. I'm a very good rower, so I was confident with
What's your
that.
damper setting at for that?
I used to be higher, like I used to be at like a 6, but now I'm at a 5 because I actually learned how to like row well.
Okay. Yeah.
And actually like use the seat and like all that stuff because I was always a good rower, but I just would like use my arms too much, like bend on my biceps. But we have a guy at Raid who's one of the coaches, and he rowed in college, and he like basically taught me how to row. So he's
That's great.
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So felt really
So
good
holding
coming off the row.
1100.
Yeah, I held 1100. I finished in like a little over 3 minutes. Felt really like composed, good.
Solid.
My heart rate was probably like higher than it should have been just because I was like anxious. Just because it's like one of those workouts where, well, one, you're gonna put your score up, that whole thing. But two,
Sure.
like I know it's ending with something I'm not confident in. So that's always like kind of hard. But so got off the row. My plan on the toes bar was just like quick fives, like
Okay.
5 reps, top down, go back up 5 reps. Because even though like in Metcons, I'll do sets of, 15 to 25,
Right.
toes to
Not
bar and
today.
unbroken.
Not worth it.
But like, I was like, yeah, that makes no sense. Unless I was going for like the best tiebreak time, but I knew I was getting
Right.
muscle ups. So
Right.
I did fives. The toes to bar took me about 2 minutes ish. Um, Wall balls, I did 2 sets, so I did 27, 13.
Oh,
Those
you went out big. You
yeah,
unbroken
yeah.
Karen person. Yeah. You
Yeah,
do like
I
wall
mean,
balls.
I love wall balls. So, like, that, like, to me, I was like
Gross.
and the toes to bar yeah, toes to bar are fine, like, your grip starts to go. I had also done, like, a workout with, like, a bunch of toes to bar on Wednesday, so, like,
Of course.
my grip was already yeah, yeah. Because like, I also am trying, like, really hard to just be, like, normal training, like, literally
Right.
don't worry about it, like,
Don't
you're
worry
gonna
about
be
it.
top
Yeah.
10%, because I need these weeks, like, leading up, when I'm
Right. You're
feeling
trying to
healthy,
peak for
like,
quarters.
for quarters, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I was like, "It doesn't matter that you did all those toes to bar, like, forget it." So, in my head, I was like, "Okay, wall balls are the break, like, breathe at the top." Um, and I'm so used to doing the 20-pound ball now that, like, the 14 is, like, so nice.
Felt good.
Yeah,
Did you get any no reps on the wall balls?
I did not. No,
Okay.
no reps.
Or at least you didn't give yourself any.
Yeah,
We don't know for sure if
we
anyone's
don't
gonna
know
give
for
you no
we don't
reps,
know for
right?
sure. Um, I I always, like we do wall balls to 10-foot target usually. So, like,
Okay.
our targets are, like they look like peanuts. So, it's, like, the top and the bottom. Because I know they,
Mhm.
like, put out they were like, "Make sure you hit the
To be
top
above. Yeah.
above the target." Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I'm pretty confident with that just because I usually go to 10 feet. And even with the 20-pound ball, like, Justin always makes me go to 10 feet just because, like, I'm good at them. So, like, you
Might as
might as
well.
well.
Yeah.
And at semis last year with those clear targets,
That was
I
difficult.
I literally had to put on my glasses for that event because
Oh.
I couldn't see it. But yeah, so wobbles are fine. Cleans I did singles.
Okay.
Um, so I finished the
How did they
first
feel?
part.
Were you any surprises up until now?
Uh, Not like entirely. I will say that like I did the first clean and like front rack felt so tight.
Mm.
And I don't know if that was just my forearms, like, because I honestly was kind of feeling my forearms on the wall balls, like, just, like,
Okay.
because I was, like, flexed.
Mhm.
Um, so I'd say that was, like, kind of a shock, but that was pretty much it. I kinda knew how I was gonna feel, like, it's kind of a gas workout, but also, like, trying to stay calm, but trying to definitely, like, push the pace because I wanted to buy myself time for doing muscle ups because I
Mhm.
knew that, like, I knew I could get through, like, a good chunk of them, but I also know that, like, when I do them, I think I hold my breath the whole time. I don't know, but, like, I'll do, like, 3, I'll come down, and I feel like my heart rate's at, like, 200.
Yeah.
So,
I
I
do
was
that
like
with pull-ups a lot, with pull-ups, like,
yeah,
chest to bar or regular pull-ups. I find that I
yeah,
have to really try to breathe.
yeah, and I think I just, like, 1, like, I guess, like, knowing you're not good at them, like, that's a bad
Yeah.
mindset, but, like, I think I
No.
just get,
You
like,
can't help
really
it.
anxious about it,
Yeah.
and then 2, I think I'm trying to, like, stay so tight and, like, think about all
Right.
my
Perfect
cues that,
perfect
like
form. Yeah.
yeah, like, I'm thinking, like, "Okay, like, pull the rings back, like, get your hips up," and then I just, like, I don't think to breathe at all. So I knew that, like, I was gonna probably have to rest, like, 30 seconds between sets or, like, something like that, so, um, the cleans were fine. They started to get, like I definitely started to, like, fatigue towards the end, but I was like, "This
Mhm.
is supposed to happen, like, you're fine."
Sure.
It was also really hot and humid that day, so I was, like, drenched in sweat by that point. Um so then the muscle ups, I finished the cleans and I rested probably like 30 seconds before I even jumped up on the rings.
Mhm. About how
Um,
much time did you have left for the muscle ups?
so I finished the tiebreak in 10:07.
Nice.
So I had like 4 minutes.
Mhm.
Um, which like
4 and a half after or 3 and a half after your
three,
break,
three and a half.
right?
Oh yeah. I
3,
took
3 and a
a
half.
I took a nice break before that with
Okay.
those muscle ups. Cause I like also I was like, I don't want to jump up and then like fail a
Right.
rep because then I'll get my
They're
head.
valuable. Yeah.
So yeah, I like chalked up my whole forearm, all my hands. I jumped up, I got 3 reps. They felt pretty good. Jumped down, rested. I got another 3 reps. Um, and then I did a couple sets of 2. went for a set of 2. I failed my second one, and then I think I finished with a set of 2. I don't know. I got 14, but I did them in
Okay.
sets of 2 and 3. So it was kind of like one of those moments where like you finish a workout, and I kind of was like, like I know that's like not good enough for like where I want to be, but also I know that's good enough for what I have to do
Or where you
today.
need to be. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm really trying to like tell myself that it's like this doesn't matter. Like quarterfinals is where you got to push yourself. Like save it. Like save this energy.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and also I know that's like my biggest hole. So like we're doing okay.
It's in your rearview mirror now too, so maybe,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it again.
Yeah, for sure. So honestly, that coming up is like, it's kind of like nice because now I know the rest of the workouts are probably going to be, lower skill and where you're like grindy, which I like. Like I like those like grindy, gritty type workouts.
Yeah. So and Saturday, normal day then, did you get to work out with Chance?
Yeah. We did a workout
Okay.
together. We did like echo bike, sandbag cleans, rope climbs. We did like a partner workout, which is
Nice.
good because like I like doing like rope climbs and stuff with him because he's a guy, but he's a lot better than me at like pulling stuff. So it's like fun because he definitely like pushes me on that kind of stuff.
Did he do 23.1?
He did not. So he's taking the year off this year. This past year he's worked really hard to like gain strength, work on his lifting, and like put on weight.
Mhm.
Because he's the same height as me. So he's definitely like he was on like the smaller side for the guys. And like at this level, like the weights they're putting up for Ollie are like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's so athletic and like so fast with his lifting, but he literally is just like, I just need to like put on weight to move
Needs
weight.
and time. It
Yeah.
takes time. Just you
Oh,
can't
for
rush
sure.
that.
Yeah. So he like made a very intelligent decision, and like I'm sure like we talked about it a lot. It's hard because like you're a competitor, like you want to compete, and it's hard to like see everyone else compete. But he put on like 20 pounds this past year since
Season.
semis.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So most of his work was literally just like eating and like
How did
work.
you handle that? Because I know, if my partner is eating a lot, I'm eating a lot. That's just kind
um
of what you do. Was that tough?
yeah, I don't not really. I guess I don't really like have that issue. He was working with Meredith of functional eating. So
Okay.
that's out of Kansas too. So we got that recommendation from Aaliyah actually.
Mhm.
And now I work with Meredith too. So
Okay.
but that's been new. That's been like within the past like month or two.
'Cause
But
he likes Ben& and Jerry's, right? Doesn't
he
he like those
loves
ones?
Ben and Jerry's.
That's what I thought, yeah. He's like my
Yeah.
spirit animal
He
when it comes to that. You gotta be
he
careful.
he's gotten better though. Like he when we met, like he was drinking egg whites for his protein, and his stomach would hurt all the time. And I was like, dude, you're drinking egg whites. Like, but now like, he actually eats like very, very clean now. Like he's come a long way, and like he's funny. Like he'll talk about like, yeah, like I had this, or I had like pizza the other day, or like something like not as
Mhm.
great. He'll be like, and like I didn't even feel good afterward, and I didn't even really like it as much, and like you ruined me.
He's getting better. I
Yeah,
wanna I
he's
wanna
getting
jump
better.
back I wanna jump back a little bit to your athleticism and things. Corey's got a question here about your programming, in terms
Okay.
of, are you working under a coach right now, specific programming? How's that work?
Okay. So I am working with Justin. So Justin Rementer, CrossFit Raid. Um, we are basing our programming off of Misfit. So
Okay.
he's been doing Misfit for a while. And he still competes. He does like they did TFX like as a team, the coaches of Raid. Like he does it like
Okay.
for fun. But he's been doing Misfit for a while. And whatever like he trusts, like I have a lot of trust in him. So um I go off of Misfit, but I don't do like they're very like a la carte with their programming.
Okay.
So they'll put out like, pick 0 to 3 of like these pieces, and it'll be like, a couple metcons, whatever. And then there's like mandatory pieces as well. So I do all the mandatory pieces of Misfit, and then, whether or not he switches it around on different days based off of like my weaknesses, like on Mondays, I always make sure I do like some type of rig work, some type of muscle ups to make sure I can get them in like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, or something like that.
Mhm.
So Justin definitely like personalizes it to me, but we do base our programming off of Misfit.
Okay. Would you say you're the only competitive female at that gym? Like, are you it
Yeah.
in terms of
So
like what your goals are and
yeah,
aspiration?
yeah, for sure. So I would say like right now, like me and Chance are like the two like competitive athletes at that gym.
Okay.
Um, but like Andrea, who was on our team at semis, she was the other girl on our team at semis. She was very competitive. So she was very
Okay.
strong. She pushed me a lot. But she's
Do
not
you
at that gym anymore.
do you get around to other places to like just have some exposure with other females that are better
I'm
than you or to
trying
push you?
to this year. I'm trying to like get out of my comfort zone because I I am very introverted, so like I honestly like I really like just being by myself in the gym and just like grinding and just pushing myself. Like I really don't have an issue with like motivation or anything like
Getting there,
that.
getting
And
to that
then
point.
yeah, and I like whenever me and Chance get to work out together, like that's a good push. And I guess I generally I like our environment because I mean we both call each other on our BS and all that, but like I feel like in the past when I've worked out with people, it was always like before workout, someone would be like, "Oh, like, just so you know, like I'm not feeling so good." So like, like the all those excuses,
Make
and I'm just kind of
excuses. Yeah.
I hate that. Like just like let's just work out, like let's just do the best we can. Like, one workout doesn't define you. So I do like that there's no noise. Like
Hmm.
it's literally just me, like in my head, and like I'm in control, and there's no like external like voices that's controlling how I'm thinking about a situation. Like I do like that because like I like that environment. Like I like to control that. However, like there's definitely a lot of value in like getting out there because I think for me too, like I'm really trying to work on my confidence this year and like I just thinking like am I really like good enough? Like can I really
Sure.
keep up? And I honestly didn't really think that until I agreed to do that Delaware comp with Tracy and
Green Beret.
Karis.
Yeah.
Yeah, Green Beret. And I almost like didn't even say yes to that because I just I didn't know them, so I was like kind of nervous about that because like again I am like
That's
kind of
tough.
introverted. I've never worked out with them and like they worked out a lot together, like they trained together. So I was like kind of gonna be like the outsider. I didn't know how I felt about that, and then I also like in my head I'm like they're so good, like I don't know if I can keep up. But I like pushed myself to do that and I was like, hey, like it's a good experience. Like get your name out there. Like you want this, like you like this, like stop hiding.
Yeah.
Like I kind of feel like I just like spent this whole year like by myself just staring at the wall,
Yeah.
doing my
Well,
workouts.
you are no longer hiding now. It's official. You are
Yeah.
out in the universe.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will, we will be continuing to highlight you the next few weeks. And until we don't go anymore for this season. So that'll be really
Yeah.
cool. I imagine too in your off season, once you get through this one,
Yeah.
spend some time visiting other places and getting around
Yeah,
other
for
people.
sure.
Like it's not the time between now and quarters to be doing that, obviously.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But something to think about in the future. So
Yeah. And
awesome.
like Karis and Tracy were like awesome. Like they were literally so nice. Like we like fed off each other really well. And like it felt like I knew them like forever. Like it was
Yeah.
just so fun. It was such a good experience. So we'll definitely train together for sure in
Good.
the off season.
That's awesome. Okay. And I'm definitely going to try to get up there either next Friday or the Friday after that.
Yeah.
To see it in person and hang out and do all that. So that'll be great. So
Mhm.
awesome. Well, I'm not going to take any more of your time. Get back to your food prep or your Ben and Jerry's or whatever you got going on.
Yeah, that's
Um,
not me. That's Chance.
and we'll talk again next Sunday. Good luck with
All right.
23.2 and we'll
Thank
be in touch.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great one.